Once in a great while, when I'm playing solo, I find myself in the awkward situation of caring for a small child. Often it was not the plan for the day. Go forth and raise a child that is not yours. But sometimes that's the cards that I'm dealt in the aisle. It was the middle of the night on Gateway when I first crossed paths with Little Man. I spotted him in the dark and gave my usual passing greeting. I didn't get far from him, however, before I spotted an adult Serato directly in my path. The little Stego's night vision is quite terrible, so I decided to backtrack a bit and lead him away from the danger ahead. Once safe, I returned to my business of eating and drinking. I myself wasn't fully grown yet, after all. The stag vanished into the darkness, and I very quickly forgot about him. Until the Serato attacked. Baby stags are incredibly small and vulnerable. I couldn't just leave him there. Serato wasn't even hungry after all. Once the threat had been chased off, I made the decision to take the stegling to Highland Lake. There was always a herd of stegos there since migrations were broken. I could leave him to his own kind where he'd be raised in the safety of a large herd. As the sun broke over the mountains in the early hours of the morning, Little Man and I reached the lakefront. It took a moment to spot the herd, but there they were, in the far distance, several stags of multiple sizes. Perfect. As we approached, they called out in greeting to me and my tiny charge. Awesome. Little Man would be safe here. They'd take him in and I could be on my way. I passed through the herd and then turned to ensure my little guy was accepted before I left. Things didn't go according to plan. Oh no. I didn't bring this little guy all the way here just for him to be killed. A tail slam and a swift kick put an end to the aggressive Stego's attack, and one of the adults appeared to step forward. Whether to defend the aggro stag or chase him off, I wasn't sure, but I wasn't going to leave Little Man here alone. First things first, my journey to the lake had left my Tenno's water quite low. I didn't trust this water. Even the shallow area was too sketchy for my tastes. We'd go to the lower lake instead. By the time we arrived, Little Man was exhausted. It was a big ask, keeping up with a trotting Tenno with his stubby little legs. But my water situation was desperate, and we had to keep a steady pace. Little Man went to drink in a less than ideal place, and I was quick to warn him off. No, follow. There's safer water just over there. Not worth dying so close to a much better drinking spot. Water filled, now was the time to rest. Little Man would need his strength before we made the trek back to J Sector for food. Our relaxation didn't last long. A solo adult raptor approached. It seemed friendly enough, but after the herd incident, I wasn't going to let my guard down. It was time to leave. My little stego hadn't been able to rest long. but it would be much safer to get away from the lake and the carnivores that were sure to keep finding us there. By the time we reached Highlands Lake, my water was getting low again. The plan was to return to J Sector. I'd seen another large stego with 2 fresh spawns earlier in the day, and hoped they might take in Little Man before I had to log off for the afternoon. If I could find him a family and ensure his safety, then I would. I'd grown rather attached after protecting him this long, and I wanted to make sure he'd have his best chance once I was gone. We met another snag on our way into the passage. A multitude of carnos appeared to block our way. Not ideal, but they weren't all fully grown. Little Man hid while I figured out if they would be a threat. Friendly. Okay. I didn't fully trust them, but I decided to collect my stegling and get the heck out of Dodge. As often as people act like hyper-aggressive deathmatchers on Spiro, in raising Little Man I found many more chill people on Gateway. We peacefully passed a pair of raptors and, for not chasing them off their kill, they gifted us a compy. My free time was coming to a close, and my water levels were getting dangerous. But ahead I could see the stego and her small ward at the pond. I watched carefully how they accepted Little Man, and, once satisfied that they would not harm him, we set off toward food. Very soon I would log out and leave my little stegling in the care of this small herd. But first, we would have one last meal together. The other tenno sounded the alarm nearby, and I went to investigate, Little Man following on my heels. I shouldn't have led him toward danger. I should have taken him to safety first. But I didn't want to leave the other tenno to face whatever the danger was alone. The standoff began fairly peaceful. I could have attacked multiple times, but I would rather end this without bloodshed as long as Little Man was here. Carnos, at his size, were a significant threat, and he would be unable to flee. Unfortunately, there were more than anticipated. As the third joined the ranks, I knew we were in trouble. I failed. He trusted me to protect him, and I as much as sealed his fate the moment I misaimed my tail slam. I'm sorry, Little Man. I tried. I failed you. Forgive me. There was no time to grieve. All I could do was flee. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment. If you're new here, please consider subscribing for more content just like this. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.